Hello and welcome to Against the Storm patch 0.62, the Guidance and Lore Update, Part 2. As you can probably guess from the title of this update, it is an additional bit of content similar to what we saw the last time, or adding on to what we saw the last time. In this update, we get some decorations, various types of decorations, for our home, which were promised in that last update. These decorations are tied to the deeds that we are earning, or we have earned, and are continuing to earn on occasion as we play through the game. As you hit significant milestones in your progress throughout the deeds that are available, the game, and such like that. Beyond that, there's not much. And the reason is because they are rapidly approaching 1.0. And while a lot of games, may try to button up their development and be ready for 1.0 and just be doing bug fixes in that last little bit, Eremite Games and Against the Storm is not. They are still giving us a little bit of new content, although the amount of new content is shrinking, it seems. And sort of by definition, or by design, a little bit on their end. But it is shrinking a little bit as we get closer and closer to that 1.0. In the patch notes, they explain that, and it makes complete sense. They're choosing to continue to give us a little bit every 2 weeks on schedule, even though other developers may not, or most developers may not. They also talked about the fact that there will not be a huge major feature, surprise feature, coming with 1.0. There will be a small feature, but it won't be something, game-breaking impact like a new race, species, or, something like that. So we're going to have to kind of wait and see what that might be. But until we get there, we won't know. So, back to the major content in this update, those decorations. There are 27 decorations as of this point, based, again, like I said, all on deeds that you earn throughout the game. And so we can jump in, instead of sitting here on the update screen, or going through a slideshow, I think we can just jump into the save, and into the Smoldering City, and into our home, either by clicking here or by clicking here. And we can talk a little bit to Aunt Lori. And then we can go back into the patch notes, I think. You did it! You actually did it! Aunt Lori shakes her head in feigned disbelief. I'm impressed. You've managed to reforge the gold seal. So you know what that means, right? This is your key to the higher ranks of the Order. Now, to mention how much you've contributed to the kingdom, the people of the Citadel owe you much. So, after such a remarkable achievement, have you thought about what you want to do next? So, there's now new text that comes as you complete each seal, up through gold. There's also a plan for additional text to come for the last 4 seals, but they started with the first 4 in this update, so I'm sure we're going to see a part 3, perhaps even in 2 weeks. So, the first 4 seals, bronze, lead, silver, and gold, representing the first 4 difficulty levels, the sort of base 4 difficulty levels. And so we can, so now the last one we completed was gold. We don't get to see the dialogue here for the first 3, unfortunately. It'd be kind of nice to show it, kind of nice to see it, but we don't get to see it here. Instead, we kind of have to, deal with it. So, instead, we get just the gold, and she's going to, give us that, and then, ask us some questions, and we can say, oh, I'm just getting started. I see you haven't lost your enthusiasm. Good. Aunt Lori lets out a sincere laugh. If you're still eager to continue assisting your brothers and sisters on the front lines, I have an intriguing proposition for you. I'm guessing the brothers and sisters here, by the way, is not literal. With your newly earned rank, you've gained the right to work with so-called sealed contracts. Special agreements between you and the Crown. They allow you to choose which seals you want to tackle each cycle. Just please be careful. Don't rush headfirst into an adamantine seal. Wait, did that kick us out? Okay, so then we can jump back in here and continue a conversation with her if we'd like, including a new piece here under There's Something I Don't Understand. And that is about blight rot. There's an additional... what did it say in the patch notes? I've lost it now. I lost it. There's an additional bit about the blight rot here, and I'm assuming that's this. Tell me more about the blight rot. Blight rot is a nasty parasite. Aunt Lori's face contorts in disgust. A putrid growth that constantly infests our settlements. Its most common source is rain punk technology. Leave a rain engine running for too long, and you'll see purple, toothy flowers growing all over it. And even if you're extremely careful with rain punk, sometimes all it takes is one unlucky find in the woods. Come across an infected caravan, and you're in trouble. The only thing you can do is build a blight post and stock up on purging fire. Unfortunately, blight rot cysts can't be burned immediately, as their outer shells are impenetrable to any known tool or weapon. But once they open during a storm, they are helpless. And that's where the blight fighters come in. Using purging fire, they simply burn the cysts to a crisp. Lori can't help but grin, as if they never existed. Remember, it's important to deal with blight rot as quickly as possible. Don't ever think about just ignoring it. If you let it spread, it will corrupt the ancient hearth and kill your villagers. Trust me, you don't want to witness that. Anything else you want to talk about? So, that's one addition there. So we can, and they're going to continue adding things to this. She will also respond to you or tell you things as you complete those first few games after the tutorials, reacting sort of to things you did in the towns, I guess, or how you played in the towns, which is kind of an interesting new addition or idea. That it's a little bit not really AI or machine learning-ish, but that maybe, you know, as things are revealed to you or unlocked for you, that you can come in and interact with her a little bit. So we'll say that we're fine. And then we can say that we have to go. But we're not going to say that yet, because we're going to look around and see, well, what did we add here? What is new here from the last time? Well, definitely the stuff hanging from the ceiling. Probably that painting over there as well. Probably this fishman skull over here. Definitely this this suit. And I'm guessing that the color of it corresponds to that which we the gold seal that we just completed. Possibly the fruit bowl as well, but we can actually go into the deeds potentially and see which ones gave us these rewards. Or we could probably take a look at a list of collectibles, although there isn't actually a list of collectibles in... Oh, yes, there is. In the patch notes. So I'm not going to read through them all, just because that seems like a lot to read through. There's 27, so... Yep. So they removed, for example, Prestigious Expedition 1. They removed the Pipe Elbow settlement decoration and added experience points to that, which is interesting. But they moved the Pipe Elbow into Expedition 2. So now you don't get the experience there, you get the Pipe Elbow decoration instead. Where's the... Oh, there it is. The rewards for completing the new deeds, which are all the deeds focused around which seals you've completed, are all new home decoration items. Every reforged seal will grant you one piece of the Viceroy's uniform to be displayed in your home in the Citadel. So I'm guessing that means that we get the last piece? That's a little weirdly written that I wasn't really sure of. And if you win a game near your most recent seal, all the lower ones will count as well. So we should have in our deeds now, basically that we reforged all the seals, including bronze. Including gold. Beneath the mask. Oh, so we got the mask. Oh, okay. So let's go seal. Let's do this. So we got the mantle, the mask, the shoulder guards. No, it shows that we didn't do any of these. Oh, so we have to complete these again. Interesting. So we have to actually win again now to get these. So we have to win against the gold again, at least, to get the rewards. Interesting that it didn't give those retroactively. I understand kind of why not, in terms of, game functionality and things, but, yeah, interesting. Oh, so that's a mask, not the cowl. I see it. Okay. And then the mantle, which is the blue there, and the pauldrons or the shoulder guards there, and then here is the cape. So in the home, we're only seeing the inner garment, or the plain garment, and we'll get more pieces to it as we complete those. Okay. And so then these must still be some component of the new of one of the things we got, as well as, of course, that. Maybe the fire or the stack of wood as well. I'm not sure. And then, of course, the fruit bowl. And the painting. Beyond this, as I mentioned earlier, there's not much. They changed one of the cornerstones. The one Master Blueprint. Now you have to just consume charges instead of depleting nodes, which is kind of nice. Especially because the further you go into the game, as you upgrade things in the upgrades tree, you get more charges per node. So it takes longer then to deplete the node. So basing it on charges makes it a little bit more fair, I think. And also, the Obsidian Lore Master World event requires discovering that required discovering 2 Forbidden Glades now requires completing 2 Forbidden Glade events, which is also better, I think, in terms of like completion. Discovering the glades is easy to do, relatively speaking. Completing the events is the actual challenge, so that's fair, I think. And then, like I said, they reshuffled a bunch of deeds, a bunch of deeds, like 27 of them, around to make sure that we get the home decorations at the point where we expect to. And without reading through those, I'm going to have a hard time finding which ones apply to us. But the first steps gave us this one. I see that one at the very top. The Scarlet Orchard, I think, must be this, the vines up here. And although, I don't know. It's a little uncertain, I guess. The Royal Outpost gives us this, I guess. Or maybe these are multiple. I bet you these are multiple different ones. One for each biome or something. It must be that, because there's one for the Coral Forest. There's one for the marshlands. There's at least... So, we'll see. We'll kind of... It's a little bit difficult to identify what is what, because we didn't get them all... We got them all at once. So, breaking it down is a little bit tough. But this is definitely from completing a Fishman Ritual site, because I just found that one in the patch notes as well. There's a new option in the UI options menu to alert you when you have idle farmers. I'm not entirely sure when you would want that one. I guess if you wanted to shuffle farmers around from farm site to farm site during a season, that seems a little too micromanagey for my style, my gameplay, so I probably won't use that. But it's there. If you have that gameplay style, then I would suggest using it. And also, the species panels on the left side of the HUD will now remember their state when the game loads. So if you left them popped out, they will stay popped out. And you can also put a setting in the options, or trigger a setting, or turn on a setting in the options that will make them popped out at the beginning of every town, every settlement. So if you like them popped out, that way you can always have them out, basically. And speaking of farmers earlier, they also changed the icon of the human farming specialization to make it differ enough from the forest specialization of foxes. So that was pretty smart. I'm glad they did that, just to keep that difference in there. Make the difference more obvious, I mean. They also changed the name of copper and coal deposits to veins to better distinguish them from other types of deposits, because they're not affected in the same way. They don't have the same behavior as other deposits anymore. You can build on them. They can be, renewed or refreshed or extended even after you've depleted them with the upgrades in the mines. So there's definitely ways. There are definitely different ways that they behave. So it's fair and makes sense that those have different names. Other than that, it looks like there's a handful of bug fixes, but they all seem pretty minor, and there's only a handful. There's a lot less this time than there have been in the past. Most of the time in the past anyway, which is good. That means that they're shaking out all of the bugs. And I think that concludes this patch notes read and discussion. If you have any questions or comments, by all means, let me know in the comments section below, or come to my Discord. You can find that link in the description below. Or join me in the premiere chat for the next mini-series, where we play through another town and take a look at the changes that have happened in this update. The changes in a town, at the town level, are fairly minimal, so we won't see much change. But we're going to play through another town. I think we're up against a couple of lore master choices. So we're going to make that choice as well. And see what happens. I don't know what we're going to do when the game goes 1.0. If you have suggestions on how to handle my playthrough at that point, let me know. And suggestions including things like starting over again, continuing as we are, a little bit of both, maybe playing some towns in the beginning of the game and then skipping back ahead to where we're at now, to kind of show in maybe a new series that the beginning of the game as well as the sort of mid-late game that we're kind of at now. Any other suggestions you might have as well, by all means, let me know those. So we're going to leave this here for now, and we will see you all in the mini-series. Thank you all for joining me. Bye for now.